All right, welcome to this presentation. Today we're going to be talking about how to approach women as a grounded, masculine man. All right, so what you're going to learn today is how to open a woman. So basically, when I say open a woman, I mean how to start a conversation with a woman, whether it be a cold approach. So this could be a woman that you see in a grocery store, at the mall, department store, the the park, like anywhere, pretty much anywhere. How to open a woman through cold approach. It could also be a warm approach, which would be when a woman has either like smiled at you or did something to show you that there may be some interest there, right? Maybe she smiled at you or she held eye contact with you, or maybe she smiled at you, gave you eye contact and flipped her hair, right? That would be more of a warm approach. So I'm going to give you some ways you can open a woman, whether it's a cold approach or a warm approach. Direct and indirect openers. So how to start a conversation with a woman in a direct manner where your interest is being shown, um, and it's obvious, and how to approach a woman in an indirect manner. So this is when you start a conversation with a woman, but you're not showing direct interest. So your interest is not obvious to her. All right. And then I'm going to show you how to demonstrate grounded masculinity on the open. When I say grounded masculinity, essentially what I mean is demonstrate to a woman that you can handle the tension of the interaction and remain proactive and grounded in who you are, despite what she says or what she does or what may be happening in the environment, right? So basically, how to approach a woman in a confident, in a with a poise, with a strength of character. And then I'll give you some examples of how a successful open to number close would look like. So how to open a woman, how that would look, and then how to get a number close. Like I'm going to give you some examples from my life recently of women that I've approached and how the interaction went from open to number close. All right. So who am I? Real quickly, just in case you don't know who I am, I want to give you a quick summary so you can understand where I'm coming from. So I was a virgin until 24. The reason I'm letting you know this is because I'm 28 right now. So I was a late bloomer. I struggled with women for most of my life. Um, in high school, I played basketball, so I was somewhat, kind of cool in high school, but I was very shy, introverted. My communication was inhibited. Like I was afraid to speak up. I was afraid to express myself, um, especially around women. Like I could talk to men, maybe to some extent, but when women came around, all of a sudden I would freeze up. All of a sudden, I would be afraid to express myself, and so basically I would drop the ball. Even if a girl showed interest in me, I would drop the ball. So I was lacking confidence, low self-esteem, and I just didn't feel worthy of a woman. But when I left high school, which was in 2012, so I said I've been code approaching women since 2012. When I graduated high school in 2012, I decided that I wanted to do something about my situation, not having the confidence to talk to women and being inhibited in my self-expression. And I wanted to do something about it. So I started going out and approaching women. I've been doing that since 2012. And what happened for me is I made that transformation. It wasn't I could have easily said, you know what, I'm shy, I'm introverted, I'm not, socially intelligent, or whatever the case may be. So that's just who I am. I could have settled, but I decided no. I decided I want to go out and improve and increase my chances of meeting women. And I did that by developing social skills, by developing my confidence, by becoming more attractive as a man. So I went from being shy and socially awkward to developing the confidence and skills to approach, attract, and date beautiful women in both the daytime and at night. So I would go out and cold approach women in the daytime, like grocery stores, department stores, the malls, parks, and I would practice, my communication skills. I would have practiced demonstrating attractive behavior. I would have practiced being grounded in my masculinity. I'd practice leading. I'd practice getting numbers and dates. And then eventually ended up doing night game, which is going out to the nightclubs and the bars and learning how to um, approach women in those kinds of settings. And I was able to achieve success in both the daytime and at the nighttime. So now what I do is I coach men all around the world, helping them handle their dating lives once and for all. Okay. I've developed a passion for what I do, for helping men become more confident with women because this was probably the biggest struggle in my life. I won't even say probably, it was. Right. I've went after a lot of different things. I've got into business when I was like 15 years old. I started looking into business and I got into affiliate marketing, and I was able to figure that out. And I was really good at basketball and stuff like that. But when it came to women, that was like the biggest struggle for me. So I developed a passion for it, and this is what I do now. All right, so let's go into it. Let's talk about how to open a woman. Let me paint the scenario. You're at let's use a grocery store because I think we've all been to the grocery store before, and we've all seen attractive women in the grocery store at some point. So let's say in a grocery store, you see an attractive woman. How are you going to open this woman? Well, here's how I would recommend you do it. First, you want to smile and make eye contact. I want to make sure the woman sees me coming, ideally, right? So I'm going to smile. I'm going to get myself in a positive state of being. So if you start smiling, when you start smiling, like if you start smiling right now, you can't help but start to feel more positive, right? You can't help but to feel a little happier or more joyful or just more optimistic, right? And that feeling is transferred when you smile and then you make eye contact, right? So, what I want to do when I see a woman I find attractive, I want to smile and make eye contact. I don't want to run up behind her. I don't want to scare her. I don't want to shock her. I want to smile and make eye contact. One of the reasons I'm doing it is I want to see how she responds. I want to see, does she smile back, or does she avoid eye contact, or does she frown at me? Right now, here's my take on this. So, some guys would say, well, okay, if you smile at a woman and make eye contact and she's not smiling back, you shouldn't approach. I don't agree with that. I think you should approach because you could smile at a woman and make eye contact, and she could not smile back at you because she's nervous, or maybe she thinks you're attractive, or maybe she didn't know if you were looking at her, or there's so many other factors that play into this. So I wouldn't decide whether or not I should approach a woman based on how she responds to me smiling and making eye contact at her. This is just my way of gauging where things are at, and then also trying to get her attention, because I don't want to startle her. I want her to see me coming, so it feels more like she's like more prepared for it. Like, it's not gonna just like be a complete pattern interrupt. Like, I want it to be somewhat of a pattern interrupt because, right, she's not expecting me to approach. Like, I'm pretty sure there's many guys who smiled at her and made eye contact and didn't do anything about it. So there is gonna still be some form of a shock factor to it, but I don't want it to be completely out of nowhere. You see what I'm saying? Ideally. So the first thing I do is I smile to make eye contact. Now, when I smile, it's not like a big cheesy smile. It's more like just like a simple smile, like, I'm feeling good, I'm happy, right? And then I make eye contact, chest up, head up, and I'm feeling my body. I'm feeling my body. What does that mean? Most guys are stuck in their head when they're about to approach a woman. You want to get out of your head and you want to be fully in your body. You want to be able to feel your hands, feel your arms, feel your legs, feel your chest, feel your stomach, like feel your body, relax into your body. You're probably going to be a little nervous. It's okay to be nervous. I'm not the guy that says, oh, you need to have no nervousness. Like, I believe you can work on becoming desensitized to approaching women where it's no big deal for you. But when you see that girl that you really find attractive, you're gonna feel the nervousness no matter what. So instead of trying to pretend like you're not nervous or disown your nervousness, I want you to own it and relax into it. Own it, because that is energy. Nervousness is energy, and that energy you can use in the interaction. You can use that energy to stimulate the woman in the interaction if you learn how to relax and channel that energy into um sexual tension or into excitement or into, you know, whatever is necessary to create a powerful interaction. That's energy that can be used, right? It's not something for you to think is a bad thing. It's not. When you're about to approach a woman, be ready to lead the interaction and carry most of the energy in the beginning. So what this means is when you're about to open a woman, you want to keep in mind that um she's probably not expecting you to approach her. Even if you made eye contact and smiled, she's probably thinks, it's just a smile. He's probably just gonna keep it moving. But if you approach her, don't approach a woman and then expect her to like be super talkative and lead the interaction and be all over you. Like, that does happen sometimes, but that's not what you should be aiming for. Like, you should be aiming to demonstrate that you are a grounded masculine man that can lead the interaction and carry most of the energy of the interaction. So in the beginning, have the mindset of, okay, I'm coming over here to approach this woman and express myself and be present to the moment. So I don't want you to be in your head. I want you to see the woman, smile, make eye contact, chest up, head up, feel your body, relax into your nervousness, and approach her. Right? I'm gonna give you some things you can say, but right now I'm just pinning that picture of you approaching the woman. Now you want to assume attraction. When you approach a woman, you want to have the mindset that this girl, she thinks I'm hot. She thinks I'm sexy. And look, even if she doesn't think that, you think it, right? You got to be believing, yo, my thing is, I believe I'm a king. So in my head, a king is any woman would want to be with a king, right? So if a woman is actually not interested in me, I actually kind of see it as like, oh, this woman must be crazy or something. Now, that's just a mindset I use because it makes me more powerful in my interaction. Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. The woman, maybe she has a boyfriend, maybe she has there's many reasons why a woman may not be interested in you. But I choose the mindset that's going to make me communicate in the most attractive way, which is assuming attraction no matter what. I believe this woman is attracted to me. End of story, right? I see myself as a king. I see myself as a sexy beast. I see myself as all these. I come up with these different archetypes or characters that I see myself as that are sexy, that are attractive. So I'm approaching a woman with that type of energy. I'm not approaching a woman like, oh, I hope she likes me, or man, I hope she gives me a chance. I don't think like that. That's very weak. If you're thinking that in your head, you're going to communicate that, and she's gonna feel that, and she's gonna be like, okay, this dude, no, he's not the dude. This is not the guy I want. This is not the best option, right? We're not gonna go deep into female nature right now, but the woman is looking for the best option, right? Like, if she's going to give up her sexuality to a man, it's not going to be out of pity. It's going to be the guy who's demonstrating that he's the best option. Own your sexuality and your balls when you approach a woman. That means feel your lower body. Feel your lower body, man. Feel your sexual organs when you approach a woman. Like, don't approach a woman like, oh man, like walking on eggshells or hoping you don't ruffle her feathers and shit like that. That is not going to create attraction or create some type of sexual interaction, right? It's not like you have to go up to her and start talking about sex, but if you're owning your sexuality, you're owning your balls, and you're speaking with sexual intent, she'll feel it. The energy will come across, the sub communication will come across. You don't have to go up to her and say, hey, I want to have sex with you. You just have to own your sexuality when you're talking to her. She'll feel it, she'll know, right? So I want you to own your sexuality. I want you to believe um that it's okay to be a sexual man that wants to have sex with a woman, and that is the reason you're approaching her. You're approaching her because you have sexual interest in her. However, you are socially aware enough to know that you don't just go up to a woman and say something that may violate her, right? So that's I'm gonna go into the openers now. All right, direct openers. So direct openers are basically opening statements that you say to a woman that demonstrates that you're interested in her in a romantic or sexual way. I'm going to give you some that I typically use, right? First one, hey, either hey or excuse me. It would be how you started off, and then you say, I think you're quite attractive, and I wanted to say hi real quick. Or I wanted to come and say hi, right? Or I wanted to come and say what's up, or I wanted to meet you, right? I think you're attractive, and I wanted to say hi, right? What are you doing here? You're letting her know, first of all, I find you attractive. And second of all, I wanted to talk to you. That's it. So now she knows what your intention is, and the interaction will be based on this foundation that has been set. I am a masculine man. I say you're a masculine man because you're being proactive right now. Like for you to walk up to a woman and say, hey, excuse me, I think you're quite attractive. I want to say hi real quick. You're demonstrating masculinity in that moment. That's a masculine opener right there. It's a manly opener. Like, look, I think you're attractive. I want to say hi. So that's one of them. The next one is, excuse me, I just wanted to say I think you're pretty cute, and I'm curious if you'd be down to grab coffee sometime. This is an opener if you would like to kind of just get straight to the point. Maybe you're in a hurry, or maybe you just don't feel like having a long conversation. You just want to take your shot, or maybe maybe you the approach is warm, so maybe you feel like she's demonstrated in some way that she'd probably be into you, and so you just want to go straight for it. Um, all these openers that I'm giving you here have all worked, so all of these can work. It's not really so much about the opener; it's more so about um your delivery of it, like how you feel about it. Is it congruent with how you're feeling and who you are? And also, do you believe in the opener, right? Like, do you believe, like, when I if I go to him and I say, hey, I think you're quite attractive, I want to say hi real quick, I believe that I'm worthy of this woman's time. I believe I'm worthy of this woman's attention. And so that's why I'm delivering this communication, right? You got to believe that you deserve to have this woman in your life, or at least have this interaction with this woman, and that it's not a waste of time. If you're approaching her and you're thinking, oh man, I hope I'm not bothering her, that's the wrong mindset. You have to believe you're a king, right? The next one is, hey, I'm Trey, what's your name, right? So this is you basically just being confident. Hey, I'm John, what's your name? Hey, I'm Joe, what's your name? Hey, I'm Trey, what's your name? Like, you just say, hey, you that's why you want to get the eye contact and smile, so she like sees it coming. But yeah, hey, I'm Trey, what's your name? Or excuse me, I'm Trey, what's your name? Hey, what's up? Or how are you? Hey, how are you? Right? You kind of just go for it, and you do it as if it's nothing. Like, it ain't no big deal. You're a social guy. You see an attractive girl, and you're like, "Hey, what's up?" Right? If you were in a party, that's how you would approach anyway. So you kind of have the mindset of like, I'm the dude. I'm the type of dude that can just go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And it's no big deal. That's the key thing right there. If you make it a big deal, then she's gonna be like, "Do I know you?" Like they'll start saying weird stuff like that, because if you feel weird about it, she's gonna feel weird. But if you're cool with it, she'll be like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" or hey, she'll respond more than likely in a positive way if you're grounded. Another one I like to do is your king has arrived. This is me like role playing like I'm a king, and I go into like a whole thing with this. Like I'll be like, your king has arrived, and she'll probably laugh or giggle, and I'll say, I've been searching far and wide through the village, and finally I have found the woman I've been looking for all these years. I go into something, some kind of role play, and I just play that king role. And I'm saying that I'm a king that's been looking for his queen, and I finally found her. Right. So what am I doing here? I'm being direct, but I'm also adding some flavor to it. This is something that I think is interesting. I think this is amusing to play a king and then allow a woman to be a queen in the moment. Right. You can do stuff like this, but you can't be doing it to make the girl like you. I'm not doing it to make the girl like me. I'm doing it because I think it's interesting. I think this is a fun interaction to have with a woman. So that's why I do it. Any opener that shows romantic or sexual interest can work for the most part. So you can use mine or you can come up with your own, but pretty much anything that demonstrates romantic or sexual interest can work. Obviously, you're not trying to violate anyone here, so like you know in the club you can get away with a lot of different things, but in the daytime you want to be a little more calibrated and socially aware. So you in the daytime you don't need to go up to no girl and say, you know um hey, you want to go back to my place, or hey, hey sexy. I mean, you could say hey sexy, but you don't really need to like do that unless like you're present to the moment and that's what you're really feeling. Then go ahead and do it, but like you don't have to be super direct in the daytime because it's just a different vibe. It's a different energy. You know what I mean? But really, I tell you this right now. Whatever feels congruent, whatever feels right to you is the probably the best thing to say. So these openers that I gave you, I use the one that feels more congruent to me in the moment. Like right now, it's been a little minute since I've used the king one, but there was a point in time where I was using that all the time because I was just in that vibe, right? I'm more right now I mostly use the hey, I'm Trey, what's your name? That's one I've been using a lot recently. And the first one, excuse me, I think you're quite attractive. I want to say hi real quick. Those are the main two I've been using. But that's the vibe I'm on right now, but sometimes it changes. So you want to kind of see what feels right to you and go with that. Indirect openers. Indirect openers are basically when you open a conversation and you're indirect about it. Like your interest is not obvious. The fact that you are romantically and sexually interested in the girl is not being demonstrated in an obvious manner. So, for example, if you go to a girl and say, "Do you know what time it is?" She's not gonna know for sure whether or not you are directly interested in her. You may literally just want to know what time it is, right? So that would be an indirect opener. Another one, do you know where the closest post office is, right? Or do you know where is the closest mall, or the closest beach, or the closest whatever, right? Asking her for directions. If we're talking about the grocery store, the department store, have you ever tried this product? That's a good one, right? Maybe you got some chips in your hand and you're like, hey, have you ever tried these chips? Or maybe sometimes, if I'm in a grocery store, I see something in the girl's shopping cart that I think might be interesting, or I want to know more about. I ask her about it, like, hey, how are those brownies, or how is that how does that broom, does it sweep well? Like whatever, you know what I mean? Like you gotta really that one works well if you're really into it for real. You know what I mean? Um, have you ever eaten at such and such restaurant? That's another one. These last two, have you tried this product and have you ever eaten that? These two are good for like starting conversation. That can actually be kind of interesting. Because if you're asking for the time, that's very quick. That's just like boom, she's gonna give you the time, and then you got to figure out how to follow up with that. Do you know where the closest post office is? This is decent too. You're asking for directions, so that's a little more extended conversation. But even then, you're still gonna have to figure out how to make that transition. Um, but have you ever tried this product that kind of gets y'all talking about something that you both may have some interest in? So now you're kind of creating some rapport to some extent, right? Because you're both talking about something you may have some kind of interest in. Same thing with the restaurant. Um, Now here's the thing with indirect openers. Indirect openers, I tend to go with direct openers because when you go direct, it allows you to just it's like you're being um fully authentic, I would say. Because you're just telling the girl like exactly what you want to say, and it is what it is. And you're demonstrating, your intent, and you're not beating around the bush. So you're just being fully authentic. You're just going for it. Whereas an indirect opener, you're being a little more cautious, right? You're being a little more strategic, maybe. Um, Maybe you want to feel out the vibes first before you put your cards on the table. Some guys do well with indirect openers. Some guys do better with direct. Me, I've tested out indirect and direct, and I tend to do a lot better with direct because it's just more congruent with who I am. When I go indirect, it feels a little weird to me making that transition into letting the girl know I'm interested. Usually when I go indirect, the way how I do it is, let's say, I go up and I say, have you ever tried this product? I'll talk about the product, and then at some point I may say, um I may bring up something that will make her know that I have some interest in her. So I may say, oh, by the way, where's your accent from? I notice you have an accent. Or I may say something like, by the way, I really love your outfit. Are you headed somewhere? Like, you have to make a transition to letting her starting to show some kind of interest. So that's the thing with indirect openers. You just got to be aware of that. Don't get stuck in the indirectness of the conversation. Like it has to switch at some point. How to demonstrate grounded masculinity in your openers. So to me, one of the attractive qualities that you can demonstrate to a woman is grounded masculinity. And what that means is you're demonstrating that you can handle the tension of the interaction, and you can remain proactive no matter what is happening, no matter what she says, and no matter what's happening externally in the environment. It just shows a strength of character, shows that you're a man that she could be feminine around, right? And this allows that masculine and feminine dance to play, and this is what creates attraction, right? So when you're demonstrating grounded masculinity, you're creating the opportunity for attraction um, to happen, to form, to develop, right? So ways to demonstrate your grounded masculinity: have no shame in your game. What do I mean by this? Have no shame in what you are doing. Like, don't tiptoe around the girl. Don't try to be, nice guy. Don't try to be friendly. Guys avoiding tension guys avoiding tension and sexual tension, and guys avoiding breaking rapport or saying something the girl doesn't like, or being bold. Like, you have to completely just own the fact that you are approaching this girl because you are attracted to her. Like, if you have shame in that, it's going to distort the energy that's coming across in your communication. It's going to kill the attraction. It's going to distort the attraction. It's going more than likely lead the interaction into a platonic platonic place, and we not want that. So you want to just um completely own your game, and just have no shame in it. Be unapologetic about your masculinity and who you are as a man, your sexuality. The next one, open your heart and relax in your body. This is one that I didn't know was so powerful, but if you're going out there and approaching women, I really would like you to utilize this. Opening your heart and relaxing your body. What do I mean? When I say open your heart, basically what I mean is having basically it's like you're in this place of love for life. You're open to all possibilities of life, and you're relaxed, and you're not, you see, guys are so, this is the thing, guys are so stuck in their head. What I want you to do is I want you to go into your heart. That means you just open up to the possibilities of life, and you just relax in your body, and you're just present to the moment. You're like, yo, I'm here, I'm in this present moment. Anything is possible right now, and I'm open to all possibilities. I'm open to potentially, having a great conversation with this woman. I'm also open to this conversation just ending. I'm open to, it randomly starting to rain. I'm open to, you know, the girl's mom coming out of nowhere and saying, "Oh, hey, who are you?" Like, you just got to be fully open. And what this does is it allows the girl to be fully open. Like, sometimes guys may wonder why girls are closed off and stuff like that. It's because you're stuck in your head, and you're not, if you're not relaxed and you're not grounded and you're not open, how can you expect the girl to be like that? You know what I mean? Because you're the one who's setting the tone of the interaction. So if you set the tone and you're stuck in your head and your heart is closed off and you're all tense in your body, what do you expect the girl to do? Like, she's supposed to be like super confident and grounded in the conversation. Like, no, like, she's going off of your vibe because you're the one who created the interaction. So when you open your heart and you relax in your body, is very what I notice is women respond to that very well. Even if she's not interested or she has a boyfriend or whatever, she'll still respond in a very positive and warm way because that's the tone that you set. So guys are afraid of rejection and think it's harsh and this and that. Well, if you're getting a lot of harsh rejections and stuff like that, probably more than likely you may have your heart closed off and you may not be relaxing your body, and therefore the woman feels something is off, right? The energy is not flowing properly because you're closed off from letting it happen. So she feels something is off, and guess what? It makes her feel uncomfortable. Like, it triggers her to want to reject you because she feels weird around you, like she feels uncomfortable around you. So something I'd like you to try. Own your balls. This means, once again, own your sexuality. Know that you are a man who enjoys um, having sex with women and enjoys having a sexual conversation. And for me, a sexual conversation is not about talking about sex. It's about the man fully embracing his masculinity and being grounded in it, and the woman fully embracing her feminine energy and um, allowing herself to be fully in her nature, which is to be feminine. And so when that happens, um, sexual tension is definitely a possibility because we have the masculine and the feminine interacting with each other, right? So in order for that sexual tension and that attraction to be created, you would have to own your balls. You would have to own your sexuality. If you have sexual shame, right? If you're ashamed of your sexuality, it's going to be hard for any sexual energy to flow in the interaction because you're not allowing it to flow. So you have to own your balls. Like, you have to actually feel your balls. Like, one of the things I do is, like, I'm not afraid to, like, think about, me and the woman, like, being sexual together. I have no problem doing that because I have no shame in my sexuality. I think it's okay to do that. Now, if am owning my balls and I'm being, a masculine man, and the woman's not receptive to that, that's okay. That's good for me to find that out so I can move on. Is it better for me to cut off my balls and, be nice and pretend that I don't, not interested in the girl sexually, and then get in the friend zone. No, not interested in that. I'd rather get rejected than pretend to not want the girl sexually and end up in the friend zone. See what I'm saying? Next one, be self amusing. Enjoy the interaction, whether she reacts positively or not. This is a big one because a grounded masculine man, he cultivates the emotions he wants to feel from inside. When I approach a woman, I'm gonna enjoy the conversation, whether she reacts how I reacts positively or not, because I'm already feeling joy and I'm already happy and I'm already feeling love before I even approach her. I've already cultivated that within. Um, this is something that I would help you. Like, if this is something you're struggling with, this is something I can help you with, because this is important. When you approach a woman, you can't. A grounded masculine man is not approaching a woman with needy energy. Like, that's the thing. That's what when you're self amusing, it means you don't need somebody else, right, to be amused. Like, you're already amusing yourself. You're already happy. You're already joyful. You're already feeling love. You're already feeling passion for life or whatever it is. So you want to just enjoy the interaction, and don't let it be dependent on how the girl reacts to you, because that is not um that is not an attribute of a grounded masculine man, right? A grounded masculine man is grounded in who he is, right? He doesn't need anything outside of himself to feel good about himself or to enjoy life. So that also means he doesn't need her validation or her approval in order to enjoy the interaction. This is a very powerful mindset to have, because this makes you, all of a sudden, you become a prize, you become a challenge, because she's going to notice, oh, this guy is not reacting to me. This guy is not at the this guy is not in the palm of my hands. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to do whatever I want. It's not my little puppets, you know? And now she's looking at you like, oh, how do I tame him? That you become a challenge now. Be present in the moment. This is another powerful one. This means that you are not attached to a future outcome, and you're not trying to predict the outcome based on your past. You're fully present in the moment, enjoying the moment for what it is. Of course, you have an intention that you want it to create a romantic or sexual relationship with the woman, but you're creating it in the present moment. You're not focused on, you know, um, like, you're not focused on the outcome. You're focused on the experience. You're focused on the experience of potentially creating in a specific outcome, but you're not attached to it. You see what I'm saying? Because here's the mentality. It's like, look, you approach this woman, and this is how I see it, man. When I approach a woman, of course, I'm approaching that woman because I find her attractive. However, I'm aware that there's 7 billion people in the world. So I'm not looking at it like, oh, I have to get this woman, because if I don't, then I'm doomed. That's not true, right? If I'm taking a shot. I'm taking a shot. I'm taking my shot, my jump shot. There's a possibility I may make the jump shot. There's a possibility I may miss the jump shot. I could be the best shooter in the world. There's still a possibility that I might make it or I might miss it, right? So, therefore, I'm not going to be attached to whether I make it or I miss it. I'm just going to enjoy taking the shot. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to enjoy taking this shot. And that's the mindset you want to have. Be present in the moment. You are just there. You're just there. You're not thinking about what could happen and what should happen and what didn't happen and what. No, you are there, present, right? You no mind. You're not even thinking about anything. You're just there, expressing. Don't resist her communication, detached from the outcome. Let the woman be who she is, right? Stop trying to get a certain response from her, and I need to say this to make her say that and say that. So, I've made man, I've made so many videos, and I don't think I've made one video where I was like telling you say this and then she'll say that and then say this and then she'll say no. I just give you some openers or some things you could say to express yourself, but the girl is gonna respond how she's gonna respond, and I let her. I'm open. That's what it means to open your heart. I'm open to allowing the woman to be, because once she sees that you are not resisting her communication, now she feels comfortable around you because she knows you're not trying to manipulate her, right? You're not trying to force her into in a certain direction, or you just know that you are a grounded masculine man who wants a romantic and sexual relationship with this woman, and you communicate as such, but you allow her to respond how she wants to respond, right? If I communicate to a woman, I say, hey, I think you're attractive, I wanted to come and say hi, and she says ew, I relax into my body and I say thank you, have a great day. I'm not resisting what she's saying. I'm not like, oh, if she says ill, then I have to be like, hey, well, you're not that cute anyway, or this and that, or that and this. That's me being attached to an outcome. And now I'm reacting. No, I'm gonna be how I'm gonna be. She can be how she wants to be, and that's fine. Detached from the outcome. I'm not going to react to anything. Successful open to close examples. All right. So let's talk about this. What does it look like when you open a woman and you close her? And when I'm talking about close here, I'm talking about number close. So like basically get her number to go on another date. So Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day, I went out and I was approaching women. I wanted to see one of the things I like to do on Valentine's Day is just see like, you know, how many girls I can get to like be my Valentine on Valentine's Day, right? So that's my opener, literally. Hey, would you like to be my Valentine? Like I was literally just going around approaching women with that, right? Now, of course, some girls said yes and some girls said no. I'll give you an example of a girl that said yes. So one girl, I went up to her, I said, would you like to be my Valentine? She said, and I did exactly what I told you. I smiled, made eye contact, relaxed into my body, all the steps that I gave you. Now for me, it's internalized, but you're gonna have to like work on those things to so you can internalize it. But basically, I walk up with a strength of character grounded in my masculinity, ready to lead, ready to be um carry the energy of the interaction. And I say, hey, would you like to be my Valentine? And she starts giggling and um, she says, oh, really? You want to be my Valentine? I'm like, yeah. And then she was like, well, I already have a Valentine. And I was like, well, where is he? And she was like, well, he's not here. And I was like, well, he's doing something wrong right now, you know? And she starts laughing. She says, oh, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I don't remember what she said after that. But then I said, well, how about this? How about I be your Valentine until he figures it out? Right. And then she starts laughing and she says, well, if you're gonna be my Valentine, you have to get me flowers and this and that. And I was like, well, first of all, let's have a conversation and let's see what happens later. Right. So then we start talking. Right. I start asking her, what does she do? Like, what is she up to or whatever? And she starts telling me about her day. Um, and I tell her what I'm about, we just go into conversation. Like we just start talking. For me, um, the key thing is being present to the moment. So those things that I was saying back to her, those weren't like lines that I thought about to say. That was me being present in the moment, just feeling the energy of the moment and saying the first thing that came to my mind, right? It wasn't me trying to be cool, it wasn't me trying to sound smart or anything like that. It's just me just relaxing into the moment and responding. Okay? As a king, because I see myself as a king, so I'm responding, how would a king respond? Boom. First thing that comes to my mind, I say it. Um and then we get to talking, and basically this girl, we start talking about like what does she want to do in her future. And I start telling her about my business. I let her know I'm a dating coach and I help men. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. And she tells me that she's an intern for some stock company or something like that, right? We started getting into a whole conversation, man. And it's a vibe. I'm grounded in my masculinity. She's being very feminine. We even start talking about like her childhood, like, you know what I mean? She's opening up, telling me about her childhood and this and that. And I'm telling her about my childhood. And yeah, great conversation. It's a vibe. And then at some point, she asked me for my she asked me if she could take my information down. So I give her my information, and this is another thing that I do. Just because we exchange information doesn't mean I need to end the interaction right there. I talk to her for a little bit more, and then while we're talking, at some point she gets a phone call from somebody or whatever. And this is one thing I'll say to you: like if a girl, you're talking to a girl and she gets on the phone, two things: either you because you don't want to end up just standing there while she's on the phone, right? So either you make some gesture or something like, hey, I'm still here, or make a joke or something like that, or you leave. Right now, because I was doing the Valentine's Day thing, like going around asking girls for their Valentine, like I wanted to do it some more, right? So we had already exchanged information, so I already knew, we don't necessarily need to talk anymore. So I was like, okay, she got on the phone. I say, hey, I'm gonna take off. Then I take off, right? So I opened her. We had the conversation. We vibed, and then she ended up asking me for my information. Now, why would she ask me for my information versus me asking her for hers? I demonstrated value that she was interested in, right? I demonstrated that I'm confident, grounded in my masculinity. I talked about relationships. I demonstrated pre-selection. I get women, um, leader. There's some attraction triggers that I learned from Mystery that I've internalized. There's a lot of things that I've internalized, and that's why I provide coaching, because there's I can give you everything I got when I'm coaching you one on one. Like a video like this, I can give you, some basics and, help you out. But when working together, I can really give you everything. But basically, I internalize a lot of attractive behavior, right? I understand that when you demonstrate pre-selection, that's attractive. When you demonstrate you get other women, you demonstrate that you're a leader of men, that's attractive. Okay, I demonstrate that I have a business and I run a mastermind group and I coach people and I do this and I do that, right? And it is what it is, right? So she ended up asking me for my information because she saw value. She wants to see me again, right? She would not have asked for my information if she didn't have any interest in seeing me again. Okay. So that was an example of a successful approach, open to close. And that was on Valentine's Day. Recent girl who ended up being in my rotation, um, I met her. I approached her with a wingman, and we basically approached her and her friend, and my opener was, hey, I thought you girls were attractive. I want to come and say hi real quick. That was my opener. And then we start talking. We find out that they're from a different country, Russia. They're from Russia, and you know we start talking, and they you know they start telling us that, yeah, they live a certain area, but they just came over here because there was a mall that they wanted to go to. Da 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 da. And we told them that we may be having a party later on in the night, or in the week or something like that. And we said, you guys can show up if you want. So we take their information down, and that was it. That was a quick one. We opened them with the, hey, thought you were attractive. We vibed for a little bit, talked about some stuff. We found out, um, that they're from Russia and this and that, and they were cool. Um, and we ended up taking their information down. And I ended up with one of the girls. I ended up inviting the girls to a party for real. And then so I chose one of the girls who I wanted to basically pursue. And I vibed with her at the party, ended up dancing with her. Um, and then just stayed in communication with her. She ended up getting in my rotation, right? And rotation, if you don't know what that is, basically like your rotation is like you're seeing multiple women, and you kind of like rotate them. So you might see one woman on Monday, and then you might see the other woman on Friday, and then you might see the other one on Tuesday. You know what I mean? It just keeps rotating. That's what I mean. And these are women that you have romantic and sexual relationships with, right? Not platonic relationships. Another one, close after initial rejection. I like to share this one because it just goes to show when you demonstrate grounded masculinity, it can even overcome rejection. I remember um one time I approached a girl, and she basically, I think I went up to her and said, hey, I thought you were cute, wanted to see if want to get your number real quick or something. It was a quick, direct one, because I guess maybe I was in a hurry or something. And she was like, "Oh, you want my number? Well, sorry, I got a boyfriend or something," she said. And I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem. Have a great day." And she was like, "Oh, wait, I'll give you my number. I just wanted to see how you're gonna respond to that." Right? So I'm guessing maybe, there was some other guys that approached her, because this was night game. So this was at night. This was in a club setting, but like outdoors, like walking around. So not in the club, like outside the club. And yeah, I guess maybe some guys approached her that day and she rejected them. They probably responded in like very reactive way. So she maybe thought I was gonna do the same thing, but she saw that I wasn't like that, and so she ended up giving me her number, because she saw that, oh, this is not like just a like one of those reactive dudes that can't take rejection. You know, so that's an example of how you can potentially get rejected but still end up getting a girl, just because of how you approached, how you opened. So that's how powerful the open is. It can overcome a rejection. But those are just three examples. I've been approaching women since 2012, so I could sit here all day and talk about different approaches, and whether it's the daytime or the nighttime, or the the mall, the grocery store, the whatever. It's, you can meet women anywhere. So there you go. What to do next? All right. If you are interested in mastering the art of cold approach so you can attract beautiful women in your life, I have a mentorship program. It's called Approach King, and it is a 8-week program. And basically, I help you get really good at cold approach, at approaching women. So week 1 is about goal setting, morning routine, and action plan. So I help you set a specific goal, whether it's to get a girlfriend, and we get specific. If you want a girlfriend, what type of girlfriend, how do you want her to look, this and that. We get really specific. Or if you want a rotation of women you're seeing, or if you just want to like be the dude who gets one night stands, or whatever your goal is, like we get clear on what the goal is. I help you put a morning routine together that's going to help you manifest this goal, right? So there's certain things that I do every single day to manifest the goals in my life, and I share this with you, and I share with you my morning routine. Puts you in the state of mind, a state of being that's going to attract the new reality that you want to create, and make it your new reality. Um, and then I help you with an action plan, like an action plan that you can apply over the next 8 weeks to achieve your goal. And then each week we focus on a specific component of approaching and attracting women. So like week 2 is overcoming the fear of approaching women and developing godlike self-confidence. So week 2 is all about your inner game, working on your mindset, working on your confidence, um, and basically giving you the foundation so that you can go out and do these other things that are necessary, right? If you don't have the confidence and the courage and the strength of character to approach women in the first place, you're not going to be able to do anything else. So we get that foundation set. Then how to approach women in a masculine, attractive manner. Okay, there's one thing to be confident and approach women and just kind of just be like a wild caveman with it. There's another way to do it in a masculine and attractive manner, more like how to approach women as a royal king. How to approach women as a with finesse, with style, right? With calibration. Like it's masculine, but it's attractive too. You see what I'm saying? So I'll show you how to do that. I show you, and these are one-on-one sessions. Okay, so each week you get one-on-one session. So week one is a one-on-one session. The one-on-one sessions tend to go anywhere from 45 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on how much time we need to make sure you feel confident in that specific area. Week four, demonstrating attractive qualities through conversation. This is where I talk about some of these attraction triggers that I've internalized or embodied, so that when I approach a woman, I don't have to think about these things anymore. So I share with you what they are and how you can um, demonstrate these qualities in your conversation with women, creating comfort and connecting with women. All right. This one thing to be attractive in your communication, but if the woman's not comfortable with you, you're still gonna have some issues with connecting with her and closing the deal, meaning getting a phone number and moving it forward. So I show you how to make a woman feel comfortable and how to create a space where she feels comfortable connecting with you. All right. Week six is flirting and sexual escalation. It's one thing to demonstrate that you're attractive, demonstrate attractive behavior. It's one thing to make a woman feel comfortable, but it's another thing to seduce her, right? Make her feel like this is the guy. I need this guy. Like, make her attention go in your direction and make her see you as a sexual candidate, the number one candidate, the best option, right? You do this through flirting and sexual escalation. And the way how I teach this is different from how most men teach it, because I focus on the energy of the energy of flirting and the energy of sexuality, right? So it's not so much what you do or what you say, but it's the energy that comes across. And I show you how to cultivate sexual energy and how to transfer it in your communication. And this is powerful because it can't be seen, right? So you can literally flirt and sexualize conversation by saying basic stuff, right? So I teach you how to do that. Okay, week seven is texting and follow up. So that's another important part. If you get a girl's phone number, you got to know how to text her to get a date and how to follow up properly. Because when you get really good at this stuff, you're going to be meeting a lot of women, and you got to know how to follow up, or else a lot of these interactions are going to go to waste. So I show you how to text and follow up effectively. And then week eight is dating and relationships. So what do you do when you get on the dates, how to have successful dates, and then how to create relationships with these women that you're meeting. All right, so that is the Code Approach King Ultimate Mentorship. You get the 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching, one-on-one sessions each week. You get access to me. You get my phone number, so you can text me if you have questions and stuff like that. You can message me through Facebook Messenger. I'll answer very quickly. You get bonuses. You get the Godlike Confidence Program, which is a 28-day program where I show you how to overcome your fear of approaching women and develop godlike confidence. It's like a video training. So every day you have a video that shows you what to do to keep improving your confidence. The Masculine Mastermind is my mastermind group where I show you how to become more grounded as a man and how to become um, more conscious and more aware throughout your daily life, more proactive, a better leader, more assertive, and basically how to take control of your life, not just with women, but I also talk about wealth and power. So it's about wealth, power, and women. Then you get access to all my ebooks. I've written a decent amount of ebooks on different topics. I have one on grounded masculinity. I have an ebook about how to become a sexy beast. I have an ebook about how to develop unbreakable confidence. I have an ebook on becoming a bad boy, how to go from nice guy to bad boy, and a couple more. Like, you get all my ebooks, right? So you get the one-on-one coaching, 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching. You get the Godlike Confidence Program, Masculine Mastermind, all my ebooks. The goal is for you to master the art of cold approach so you can achieve your goal, your specific goal, which typically it's either you probably either want a girlfriend or you want to be seeing multiple women. I mean, it's usually one of those two. This program can be used to achieve one or both of those goals. You know, if you want to have multiple girlfriends, you can do that. Or if you want to have a rotation of women that you're seeing, you can do that. Or if you just want one girlfriend, right? So the investment for this program is 2.5K or three payments of 1K. I also have a VIP version of this where we do 3 days live in field. So if you're interested in not only getting the 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching and really mastering this stuff, but you also want to go out live in field, that means we go out and approach women together and I demonstrate in front of you so you can see how it is done. And I also coach you. If you want to do that, it's a 3 day live infield, and you get the 8 weeks of coaching, and you get all the bonuses, and it's a 10K investment. And the 3 days, you get 2 hours day game. So 2 hours we'll go out and approach women in the day, and then 2 hours at night we'll hit up a club or a bar, and we'll do this for 3 days straight. All right. So the way how it work, I would fly you in over here, which is I'm in Orlando, Florida. So I'd fly you in over here. I'd set you up in a hotel, and then those 3 days that you're out here, we would link up and we'd go out for 2 hours in a day, right? We'd hit up some malls, we'd hit up some grocery stores, basically the places that I've been going to since 2012 and meeting women. And I'll show you how to do it, then I'll get you doing it. Help you get some phone numbers. You're gonna get some dates, some instant dates. You're gonna get to see the every single thing that I've spoke about in this presentation. You're gonna get to see done live, and you're gonna learn how to do it. And you'll be able to take these skills and this understanding, this insight, the frequency, the energy of it, the understanding, the new belief system, all of these things you'll be able to get and go back to where you live and apply it and handle this part of your life once and for all. So those are your two options. If you just want the one-on-one coaching, the one-on-one sessions and the bonuses, it's 2.5K or three payments of 1K. If you want to add the 3 day live infield one-on-one, the demos and the coaching, it's a 10K total investment. All right. So if you're interested, let me know. Just private message me. Say, hey, Trey, I would like to take you up on your Code Approach King Ultimate Mentorship. And then we'll go ahead get you started right away. All right. I want to thank you for watching this presentation, and I'll see you in the next ones. Peace.